Now that should be full screen. Is that better? Okay, perfect. All right, good. So we're still range bound here, guys, and I am kind of over this wave count. I'm looking at this as red 1, 2, red 3, red 4, and then the depth, the duration of wave 5 is getting a little obnoxious. So I'm really kind of struggling with this about what this consolidation is. I am still going under the idea or going under the theme that this is an ABC rally. We have major power wave and minor power wave resistance just above us. And these indicators are also covered in that fib course that I mentioned. Okay, so these are the power waves. And these are basically designed to augment the fib resistance and support zones. And they're calculated based on the major and minor swings, the trend and corrective swings over a certain look back period. So we have a bunch of resistance up here, basically from 2200 to 2240. And as I said, I'm kind of struggling with the wave count here from B wave up. Everything before that's fine. It's just the duration of this correction is so much larger than any other correction that we've really seen. So I'm wondering if this might be the wave count. It doesn't change much. It still paints resistance into 2250, but I'm wondering if this is an A, B, C, then we go into a complex X. There's your corrective wave. There's your connector wave, I should say. And then we're doing another A, big old sideways B, and then we have one more move up. Okay, this is a very bearish count, and I put this in front of you very lightly. Okay, very lightly, because the implications for this are massive. Okay, and I don't take this stuff lightly. Too many people use Elliott Wave for evil, which is calling tops and picking bottoms all the time. I am net long. We've added to our long positions, and I am going to do everything I can with our research customers to bring us up into this area, and we're going to watch very closely into the 2250 area. I am prepared with a all-out bullish count if the Fed is fully politically motivated and they just want higher stock prices to keep Democrats in, which I'm pretty sure is the case. Then we need a third wave situation going on here. I think the Fed should be raising rates a long time ago, and they're just trying to keep volatility low and stocks at all-time highs. There's really no other excuse for it. So if that's the case, if the Fed is fully behind us, then we have a third wave rally of epic proportions coming. Okay, so I know it doesn't do you any good to say higher. We could go higher or lower from here. What I'm looking at is I'm going to trade up to the 2250 zone, and then we're going to watch very closely. Okay, we're going to watch very closely to see if we continue on, like get through 2300, 2350, then we're gonna go with this super bullish wave count. So I don't know what's going on here. There's been a lot of sideways chop, and just the heart of this thing, it's a big, so far, 3-wave move, and we're in a position where we need to break into the third of a third situation, right? This is where the biggest gains are made, the wave 3 within the wave 3. So either this thing just rips higher into the end of the year, or we have a pretty big zone of resistance coming, and we could fail spectacularly. So I have really high hopes for the rest of this year, either on the bull side or the bear side. I can't tell you yet. The NASDAQ, we added to NASDAQ position. I have to get a little bit more bullish and look towards the bull side on the S&P, because I think the NASDAQ looks pretty decent, actually. That is the count right here. Okay, so we're just coming out of a nice triangle completion in the NASDAQ. It's actually a textbook triangle, A, B, C, D, E. We're rallying up, and we should have a little setback here in wave 2, but then at that point, we should be moving into a wave 3 of a 3, just like the S&P. So the NASDAQ, I think, is keeping me more bullish the S&P, because this guy looks pretty solid in terms of a of a completed move. Now, what's going to happen is after this 5-wave move completes, that's a major wave 3 top, and then the market's going to get clocked. Okay, so I'm really trying to stay on the bull side. As little sense as it makes from a fundamental point of view, earnings are off, and I won't even go down that path. Trade what you see, not what you think. And I really, I think they're gonna juice the Nasdaq for another 1,000 points or so over the next year and a half, and then it could significantly drop. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here, longer term. As we get down to the shorter term stuff, and this is important. Tony and I were just talking about my workspace before we hopped on the webinar here. Keep an eye on, as I go from the left side of my charts to the right, you're going to see a weekly, a daily, a 3-hour, and a 1-hour. And the way you kind of tie this together is you look for the similar wave counts, right? You look for green parentheses 1. You look for green parentheses E of 4. So this is the weekly. So as we get down to the daily, we're going to break this green wave 1 apart, which should be in 5 waves. So let's go from the weekly to the daily. And you're just looking for a familiar chart label. And there it is, green parentheses 1. Remember, red 1 or wave 1 is always a 5-wave move. So we just got to find 2 big corrections. Decent sized correction here. And kind of pathetic, but that's all we have to work with in wave 2. So there's 1, and there's your first correction. There's your next sizable correction for wave 4, and we have 1 more move up in 5. So as we get down to the daily, we're looking for 1 more push up here in red 5 to complete 1. At that point, this is a perfect example of, poor people who just look at these consolidations and sideways breakouts and they try to buy the breakout and they try to make a ton of money and like, oh, here's a technical breakout, let's get involved. Well, without the wave count, you're not going to know you're running into wave 5 resistance, and it's probably going to be a pretty awesome failed breakout, right? Then we set back in wave 2, and then as soon as the people try to buy the breakout here, get stopped out, and they're all pissed off, that's when wave 2 low completes, and then we go on a wave 3 rally back up to where we originally thought we were going following this breakout. So it's pretty sick and twisted the way market works. So from the daily, we're doing red 4, red 5. Let's go down to the next time frame. Keep that red 4, red 5 in mind. And let's get down to the 3-hour. Let's bring them in. And there she is, red 4, red 5. Okay, so now we got to start looking for something that resembles a wave 4 correction. And I got to be honest with you, this is just a complex mess. I mean, I just quickly spotted a flat in there, but it's so sideways. The summer's been really quiet. So 3 down. And I'm sorry, I'm just steamrolling through this, but I just want to get the information out and then I'll hit questions. Decompose as an ending diagonal, and that's just whatever. Not really worried about that. That's pretty pathetic. But it's, try to make a wave count from August 9th is, you got to be kind of high to do that, but that's okay. So we're looking at red 5 here in the NASDAQ. And remember, just like red 1, red 3, and red 5, we need 5 smaller waves. So we just decompose as an impulse. And we're looking for this model to follow on the way up. So from the 3-hour, let's go to the 1-hour. That's the 1 minute. Okay, and there's our 5-wave move. Wave 2 typically retraces 50% of wave 1. So looks like we've got that in there. Ratio analysis 2v1. Yep, we hit the 50%. And here's the game plan. Wave 3 is a minimum target. It's going to be the distance traveled in wave 1. So you do a Fibonacci projection of wave 1 compared to wave 3. Ratio analysis 3v1. 100% is your min target. That's why it's blue at 48.45. I got to change this to the 1272. Your middle target. I'll just throw the prices in there, 48.64, and then ideal is 48.87. Those of you who are trading the Qs, I could just do this for you. Let me just scrunch this up here. This is kind of a crude way to do it, but it kind of works. So QQQs are on the left. left scale. So min target on this upside move here today is 118.20. Middle target 118.59. And then the 1618 is 119.11. So we actually did something interesting yesterday. We did a synthetic long position in the options market. So we did an XLK, which is your technology ETF. We bought an at-the-money call, sold an at-the-money put, just to establish a long option, a long stock position that isn't impacted by theta, because I'm a little cautious about trying to play this breakout. Though we have a good wave count, you got to be conscientious of the fact that we've been range bound for quite some time. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at top side. John says, the hell you say? Do you think it's wise for small account holders to sit, wait, and see what happens? No, I mean, it's a great thing about options. Like you can, I mean, I don't know how small of an account you're trading, but you got to determine what percent risk you want to put out on every single trade. And if you determine you don't want to risk any more than, let's say, 5% or 3% or 2% of your account, you just got to figure out if that position size is available to you. So it's all based on percentages. And we're going to do the live fib training here today, 10 o'clock, and we're going to talk about that. Hi, Todd. This is my first visit. Welcome. My main question I'm looking to answer is, why should I purchase MotiveWave? Can you demo AutoWave? Yeah, sure. Love MotiveWave. Once you kind of get into this, and again, welcome, Mr. Deck. And Elliott is awesome. Once you kind of get into it, once you take, a week to study it and just figure out the power that it gives you in terms of preparing trades and prepping yourself, it's amazing. AutoWave is great. Let me just see here. I think MotiveWave is awesome. I've used it for years. Tony and I have been working together for a long time, and good company to work with. Best Elliott Wave software there is out there. So let's just do this. So this is the cues on the weekly. I can just go. There's a couple different ways to even add the Elliott Wave, but you can just add study, overlays, Elliott Wave. I'll go back. All available data. We'll decompose 2 levels, hit create. And it's really good at auto labeling. The issue is you need to kind of give it some help sometimes. Okay, it's not perfect. It's very difficult to label Elliott perfectly. And there really is no perfect, because it is ultimately a decision-making process. Okay. So what it's giving us is it's saying that the cues are in a first, a second, and a third wave rally, which is exactly what I was saying right before. So what you would do is you just do a distance of 1 compared to 2, and then up in 3. So just start pulling in your fib. These are the power waves that I set up. So this is the minor power wave, which is the first upside resistance, and then that's the major at 132.54. Okay. So that's just a little example. And there's a couple different ways to do it as well. I think you can also hit Command Shift W. Yeah, you can also just hit Command Shift W and it'll draw the Elliott Wave on there for you automatically. So, I mean, I like it, but I like doing the Elliott Wave stuff by hand, because you get to more intimately know and understand the chart, and that gives you confidence when you're in a trade. If you just have the computer doing the work for you, when you're in the trade and your P&L is ticking, you don't have any confidence in that. And it's very easy to just blame the computer when things don't go right, which is why a lot of people trade systems, is because they don't like to take responsibility and they like to blame somebody else. I mean, there's a lot of smart programmers out there who can do it, but a lot of people just don't want to face the need to make a decision in trading. So yeah, this NASDAQ is in a position where NAS should really break out. Okay. Gold and BABA. Yeah. I almost pulled the trigger in BABA. Chinese share has been really strong. Where's BABA? Let me just see if I can type it in. Takes a second to load. Chinese shares have been really strong. FXI has been doing well. Alibaba, Baidu, those guys have been kind of outperforming the rest of the market. Gary says, if XLK did not fill today, are you going to look to re-enter? I'm really going to look to try. Futures are flat. Last time I looked, yeah, they're up and down. Yeah. I'm going to try, Gary. Obviously, you're a member. You're a member of the research business. I'm going to let everyone know. Okay, here's Baba. I don't know if I have a wave count working in Baba. Oh yeah, nice ABC coming off here. Yeah, it does look good. And then we have a big push, another push. Yeah, Baba looks good. Okay, so I just put a 1 and a 2, and now I have to drop a 3. And what I like to do is just drop a 3 approximately where it should end. And the way you figure out where it should approximately end is you click on it, you right click, you go ratio analysis 3v1. Now, 100% is the minimum target for a first wave, okay, because that is the distance traveled in wave 1. This is a Fibonacci projection. We actually gapped through the 100%. Looks like that was an earnings day. And a more typical wave 3 or the textbook target for wave 3 is the 161% projection of wave 1. So that's going to be at 117.05. All right. We can also do an external retracement of wave 2 up in 3, and that's another fib study that we teach you. 3v2. And what you're doing now is starting to build clusters. Okay. So we have a little cluster there, which is why we've done a double top. It looks like we're going to break through and try to reach this next one. It's like, I forget my chemistry class, but it's like electrons. Which ones jump from orbit to orbit? Is it electrons or neutrons or protons, or somebody smarter than me tell me? But whatever that little element is, it should be able to jump from this orbit up to this orbit. Okay. And remember, the wave 3, just like wave 1 and 5, need to break down into 5 smaller waves. And what I'm saying here is your textbook stopping point is right here, 116. It can go before it or it can go higher than that, but it's very safe to drop the approximate ending of wave 3 there. Then what you want to do is fit in the 5 waves inside of that wave 3. Okay? And Elliott or MotiveWave just did this for me. It identified that as a wave 1, that as a wave 2, and we are rallying in wave 3. We should then set back in wave 4 and then make the move up in wave 5 to complete 3. Okay, so what happens is each of your trend waves, as I said, 1, 3, and 5 will break down into 5 smaller waves. Wave 3 is usually the big breakout wave. That's why it's going to be much more pronounced than wave 1. So let me just drop everything right at the ending point, and I'll break wave 1 down. And I'm just going to let MotiveWave do the work for me. It's like a truncated situation there. Decompose impulse, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down in wave 2, up in 1, ABC down in 2, and Baba's in the breakout phase. Okay, so I want to just keep going to the next level, and I want to study wave 1 compared to wave 3, just like we did green wave 1 compared to green wave 3. All right, I'm doing this very fast, but this is not hard. If you just apply yourself for a weekend, you'll figure this out. Everyone likes to bag an Elliott because it's too much work and nobody wants to put the work in, which is really unfortunate because it's very fun. Ratio analysis 3v1. I want to do distance of wave 1 compared to 3. And I want to put the 1272 in. Okay, so now of this guy, the 1618 is all the way up there of red 3. The 1618 is right here of green 3. So it's kind of spread out a bit, but we're starting to get a zone anywhere from about 110 to 130 in the top side. So it's a little loose zone. I typically like to see it a little wider than that. But let's now pull in the counter trend for the power swings. Let's see where those levels come in. It doesn't give me anything. Let me bring in more data. Okay. we're going to have resistance near term into 110. We should set back in wave 4 and then be able to move up in about the 120 area. So BABA looks pretty good. BABA looks good, but near term, be careful being long into 107 to 110 because there's going to be resistance. All right, so sorry to spend so much time on that one, but that's a really good chart. And Alibaba and Baidu have been really strong, as have most of China. Hong Kong's been very strong, so that's good. Gold, I think, is trying to break out. I almost pulled the trigger on Friday before non-farm payroll, but I was a little chicken, didn't do it. But we are coming off of the end of a possible Gartley pattern. We have begun to move up. We were all over this potential support zone, but again, I didn't pull it. I didn't want to trade before non-farm payroll. But we are, I think, moving up in wave 1. I think the Fed is on hold, and we're looking to buy pullbacks in gold. Nice Gartley buy pattern into an ABC zigzag in wave 2 for Elliott. Okay, it's not a true Gartley. Frankie, I see you private messaging me because we didn't get down to the 50% down into the 618. Electrons. All you guys are telling me they're electrons. Okay, thanks. I think that's what I said first. All right. My chemistry teacher would be proud. All right, so gold's looking good. I think crude's a mess. Bonds, man, I can't wait to see which way these guys break. Let me get off of the weekly down to the daily. I was really hoping we'd get a little bit more of a break lower in bonds for a C wave, down into this minor power wave, major power wave, into the 100% fib projection. But bonds are coming back here a little bit, so it's kind of hard to fight this uptrend in the bond market. So in terms of TLT, and I'll cut you guys loose here in a sec. Where's my wave count? Yeah, I was thinking we'd get a C wave move down, but it's been so shallow. Probably the triangle continues. I don't want to call the end yet. Triangle probably continues, but it's been very sideways in bonds. The direction in which bonds break up or down is going to have a big impact on where the stock market goes. A lot of people are watching where this bond market goes. And while this thing is so sideways, I don't think stocks can go too far one way or the other. Okay, sounds good, guys. We cut financials. We took profits on financials the end of last week, John. BABA wave count a lot clear on the weekly. Okay, cool, Steve. Yeah, bonds kind of sideways. So, all right, bonds up 0.5% here in the open. Stocks continue to be really mixed. Let's look at sectors. Staples down. Financials down. Energy up. It's a mess. It's just continuing to be a mess in here. We need to get through the early part of September. We got to get all the traders back in the desks. We got to get some clarity with the election, and I think there's going to be a big move coming. But right now, just kind of play it tight to the vest. It's a little dicey in here right now. Silver was up huge yesterday, down 0.5%. Gold's pulling back a little bit. Crude is flat. 30 years are up pretty good there. Okay, so again, if you guys want to get entered to win the fib class, it's been received really well. Put a lot of work into that, and there's been a lot. We've had our biggest month ever at Trading Analysis on this course. The feedback has been great, and we actually haven't gotten a single complaint on it. Meaning somebody's just not happy with the course. So I'm very happy with that. So if you want to get registered, go to YouTube. And you should be able to just type in my name. There's another guy, Todd Gordon, who's like a famous singer. He tours through Europe. He does some, like him and I have chatted on Twitter. He's pretty famous. And he's actually sent me some music. It's pretty cool. But anyways, go to my channel and then either of these two videos, Todd Gordon and the Fibonacci Factory, or you drinking from Solon cups if the S&P crashes. Remember, here's what you got to do. You need to subscribe. you need to hit the like button and just drop in a quick comment. You can tell me anything, what you think, what you had for breakfast, anything you like, and you'll be entered to win. And if you win, we'll let you know, and I'll do the drawing on the video here, and it should be fun. All right, guys. So leave it there. And at least you have questions about the course, you can email me. I think what I'm going to do is drop in a conversation board. I think that needs to happen because there are questions and a lot of people have conversations and comments and questions. So you can email me, Todd at Trading Analysis, Lisa, and I'll get back to you, or I will have a message board put into that class. I think it needs to happen. So whatever you prefer. But I'll have my programmers get on the message board for the course now. All right. So guys, thanks. Great feedback as always. I will post this up on YouTube, and we are doing live trading for this class in 25 minutes. So this is the first of 3 live trading classes. So those of you who bought the course, we'll see you in 25 minutes. See you guys. Thanks.